The origins of settled cultures and the first territorial markings go deep into the Neolithic past. The development of animal husbandry and agriculture led to the emergence of early civilizations, whose traces can be found in mythology, language, and symbolism, extending into our time. A particularly important role is played by the T, a symbol that was considered sacred, representing livestock, power, and cosmic order. This symbol appears in numerous cultures from Anatolia to Africa, from the steppes to the Mediterranean coasts. The T as a symbol of an ancient culture. The T-shaped pillars of Göbekli Tepe could be seen as the earliest expression of this symbol. They represent a shift in human history, the transition from hunters and gatherers to early pastoral societies. People began not only to use their environment, but to consciously shape it and settle into permanent communities. With this new way of life came new social structures and systems of governance. Names and titles connected to the root Tur-Tar appeared in numerous early cultures. In Canaan, Thara, Azar, Mars, was considered the father of Abraham. In Assyria, there existed Targata. In Armenia, Tharatha. In Phoenicia, Hercules, Thuro. In Greece, Tyrans. And in Italy, the Tyrrhenians. The Tyrrhenians, better known as the Etruscans, claimed descent from Hercules himself. Of ruler titles and warriors, the legacy of the bull kings. In various cultures, powerful rulers and warriors were associated with bulls. This is reflected in titles like Turchin, comparable to Gurchin, ruler Khan, Tura, Bukachan, or in the Sassanid and Khazar titles, Bag and Bak. This symbolic connection continued in mythology. Gods such as Jupiter Ammon, Mars, Maris, Hercules, Bacchus, Taurocephalus, Diana, Astarte, Osiris, and many others were linked with bulls, rams, or buffaloes. Heroes and lawmakers often wore bull horns, from Alexander the Great to Moses to Siegfried and Jemshid. The linguistic bridge, Turk and Thracian. The connection between the Thracians and the Turanians can be traced not only mythologically, but also linguistically. 1. Historians such as Herodotus, Strabo, and Pliny describe the Thracians as closely related to the Scythians and Getae. Eustathius of Thessalonica states that the Getae were Scythians and a Thracian people, which conversely means that the Thracians had Turanian roots. The names Turk and Thrak contain the same core elements, suggesting a common linguistic origin. 3. The origin of the Thracians is often traced back to Thyras Turt-Tyre, the son of Japheth, who is considered the ancestor of Thracian and Scythian groups in many legends. 4. Mars, the principal god of the Thracians, was also known as Tur or Tyr, emphasizing his connection to Turanian warrior culture. 5. The language of the Getae, closely related to the Thracian language, contains numerous agglutinative elements that show parallels with Old Turkic and Sumerian. The expansion of the Proto-Turanians and the spread of the symbol. The migrations of Neolithic pastoralists led to the widespread dissemination of their culture. This is particularly evident in Africa at Lake Turkana, where ancient stone monuments similar to those of Göbekli Tepe have been found. The communities there faced climatic changes that forced them to adapt and settle in new regions. A similar pattern appeared in Egypt, where cattle farming played a central role, as well as among the Tuareg, whose engravings immortalized the T as a sacred symbol. In Anatolia, descendants of these pastoralists lived, including the Trojans, who named their ancestor Teucros. This fits into the sequence of the Taurians, Tertia, and Tarquins, which reaches as far as the Etruscans. Conclusion, a forgotten heritage. The connection between the Proto-Turanians, the Thracians, and early pastoral cultures is no accident, but the result of millennia of development. The use of the T symbol, the association with bulls and livestock, the mythological significance of the name Tur, and the linguistic parallels point to a deep common root. The knowledge of these connections has been forgotten over time, but it is possible to piece together the fragments into a coherent whole. The history of the Turk-Thracian connection shows that we are dealing with an extensive heritage that stretches from the Fertile Crescent region to the vast steppes, from North Africa to Europe.